Everyone can create a guitar melody like this. What's up guys, and welcome back to yet another video. And today I'm gonna create a guitar beat from scratch. So after this video you should be able to create interesting guitar beats. So let's get started. And the first step is to pick a guitar plugin. So in this case I'm gonna use Contact, but you could also use Ample Sound or maybe a free guitar, doesn't matter that much. So I'm a huge fan of Contact banks, and right now I'm gonna use the guitar from Ilya Efimov, the NG, which I've used in a lot of my previous tutorials. But I'm just not tired of this one. So I'm just gonna use it on default settings. But right now the first step is picking the right scale. So you could open up View, Scale Highlighting, and then I'm gonna create this beat in D sharp minor and then natural. But you could also use other scales like G sharp. But in this case, let's start off with D sharp. So D sharp is often used when it comes to Spanish guitar type samples. So right now we're gonna start off by creating a simple chord progression. So let's start off with this D, B, A, which kind of adds that Eastern or ethnic sound, how you want to call it. As you can see, this one just does the job. So right now, let's copy this progression. I'm gonna pick this B. So right now we're gonna add more notes on top. So half an octave higher is this G sharp. I'll use this again right here. And we're adding this one. So let's add another B. We're gonna use this G again. So for example, a lot of people think this isn't right to use 3 of the same notes after each other. Doesn't matter. I'm gonna keep it simple. We're gonna pick a D 1 note higher. D, F, and for example, A. So this is the simplest way to start off creating a guitar melody. So right now, a simple trick when it comes to creating melodies is just using this empty sampler and just copy this one into this one. So right now we can adjust this chord progression, which we've created. So I'm gonna lower it down 1 octave and start off. So right now I'm gonna move around the notes like this. So I'm creating notes which go upwards. And right now it's pretty easy, just play around, create a simple melody like this. So let's use this E, which is not in the scale, but you could also use it. So this is the second melody after playing around for a while. So we want to make sure this guitar melody sounds pretty logic and simple and easy to listen to. So we're going to create something which is very similar to the first part of our melody. So make sure you hit exactly the same spots. For example, the third chord is a different chord, but we could exactly use the same melody on top. So right now we're still at 140 BPM. So let's make it a little bit slower and adjust it to 133. So right now also create something similar right here. Just keep it very simple, use exactly the same notes. So we're going to create something similar right here as we did right here. So this is a guitar melody so far. So as you can see, it's still pretty simple. So right now, we're going to start off by adjusting the velocity. And when someone is playing the guitar in real life, they're hitting the string not at the same force every time. So that is something which we're going to replicate right now. So we could first start off by just randomizing the velocity by pressing Option R. And we're now play around. So I like to lower down the velocity so it sounds a little bit more darker. We're removing some of the high frequencies. So right now, just have a listen. So now you could also play around with the notes manually, play around at random. So I've lowered down the velocity of the notes even more, and now it sounds like this. Way softer. And if you think some of the notes are too present or it doesn't sound that right, make sure to just lower it down. So they're not that present in the melody anymore, but they're just making the chord progression sound full and complete. So right now we're going to open up pattern 2, paste our MIDI file into this one, just copy this one again. And we're now going to create that 1/3 triplet melody. So this is the second melody which we're going to create in this tutorial. So we're just going to create the double notes. So this D, this G is also, and this one. So we're just using 3 notes. So right now, adjust the length of the notes to 1 step or 1/4 step. And then we're going to select the magnet and then select 1/3 step. So right now we're going to select those ones. And as you can see, 1 step is divided into 6 blocks, as you can say. So right now we're going to create something like this. So in 1 step, it sounds like this. So Control C, Control B. We're going to do exactly the same thing right here. And just apply the exact same process for all the other notes. So definitely a Gunna guitar melody or something. So let's have a listen. So maybe I don't like this one, so let's adjust it. So for example, maybe in between. Sounds perfect. Right now it also sounds way too flat, so we have to adjust the velocity again. So you could randomize it again or adjust it manually. So this is my final triplet melody again. And I've adjusted the velocity, so also lower down the velocity of the notes even more. And then just play around at random. So right now it sounds like this. Sounds way softer. And when it comes to another guitar melody, so a third guitar melody, we're going to open up another pattern, and then just simply remove these notes. Which we also could use to keep the beat a little bit more interesting. So we've created this chord progression, and right now it's pretty easy to, for example, add another layer. So we're going to open up a pad, and I'm going to use Omnisphere in this case. So I'm going to use this Homecoming preset from Omnisphere. Just to keep it a little bit more interesting. And right now we're going to add, of course, a flute, which I always like to add when it comes to guitar melodies. So let's use the Mellotron 5 or 4. So this one sounds crazy, so let's use it. And of course, we're going to just follow the root notes. So we're using D, B, G, and A again. 1 octave higher. Just using the same chord progression. Let's make it a little bit more interesting. So maybe just play around with this one. One note higher, B. I'm not pretty sure about those 2 notes, but I'm just gonna leave it this way. So let's add another element. So let's use Oneshot again and add a Oneshot. So I'm gonna use this bell pad. And of course, remove some of the high frequencies in the end. So right now we're gonna add some drums, and for this tutorial, I'm gonna keep it very simple. So let's open up the producer kit, and I'm gonna use the trap producer kit. We're gonna start off by adding a clap. Start off at C. So now I'm going to add a hi-hat. So I'm not going to go into too much detail about the hi-hat pattern. And let's layer the clap with a snare. So we're going to use the typical snare, and let's add the snare around the clap. Play around the velocity. So now I'm going to add the 808. So I'm going to use this one. And as you can see, this sample is in E. So we have to adjust the root notes, open up the instrument settings, and then we're going to select E. And if you're not sure in which key your 808 is, just right mouse button on the waveform and then click Edit in Audio Editor. Then select this flag and then select Detect Pitch Regions. And as you can see, I'm going to zoom in a little bit, it says E. So this is the key in which your 808 is. Pretty easy trick. So I see some people always messing around with the 808. This is a simple trick and it's convenient to use. And of course, create this square. So I like to create this one instead of using cut itself. So I now have more control over the 808. something quick right here. Oh! So maybe make it a little bit more interesting, create this roll right here. So I'm gonna select 1 forward step. There is an easier way to do this, but I'm just gonna create it manually, like this. And then just something like this. So right now, make it a bars. Oh. So I think we've created all the elements, or I'm gonna create a simple arrangement for you guys and show you the final result. So as you can see guys, the beat is not finished at all. It's just to show you what you can do with the elements which we've created. So when you create something very similar to this beat, you could easily play around and create a simple arrangement. So right now, just have a listen to the final guitar melody, and I've added some effects. So I've just added the simple Vinyl 2 presets from RC20, just a little bit of delay just to spice up the sound even more. And then I've used the Valhalla Vintage Verb, but you could also use Reverb too, and just play around with the settings until you think it sounds good. As you can see, I've not used an EQ or something, just keep it very simple and clean. So the guitar melody sounds like this. So way spacier. Also added another layer, which is this simple piano. And I've used this kickstart to create a sidechain, which is just a tiny detail, but just added some more ambience to the beat. So that's it guys when it comes to creating this beat. I'm gonna show you this, which is not finished result right now. So I hope you enjoy it. So we're starting off with the Oneshot, the pad, and just the main guitar. You could also start with the chord progression, whatever, just to show you in a preview, an example. I think the drums are pretty fire on this one, still not finished, could definitely be improved. Flute coming in, pad. I'm still not sure about those two notes after each other, these ones. Crazy. So that's it guys, I hope you enjoyed it. A big thanks for watching this video. A big thanks if you watched it to the end, and I hope to see you in the next tutorial.